those magnificent men in their flying machines. They go up to the up, up, they go down to the up, down.
Hello everyone, right, this is it, we're covering the wing, this is near the end of the covering, this is it, right, I might add, right, that, my famous saying, I might add, we got a guest today, a special guest. She does filming for YouTube and stuff like that, and she's like coming to inspect how I do things, so I must have caught somebody's attention and that, and so I'm even more nervous now than I usually am, because, you know, she's, well, hello Claire.
Hi.
There you go, see, so there you go. So, wish me luck guys, because she's a major director of a big film company. Yeah, right. But never mind, you know, and Incy's here, little spider, my little pet spider. Well, this is the last bit of covering for the plane. So, as I do this wing, it's exactly the same as all the other wings that I've done, okay? So, once you see one wing, you see it all. Okay, so here we go. Right, so, this is one whole sheet. People say about the excess, right, well, here's the reason. Measure it to it's a bit more of a size, but this was the offcuts that I had from my sopwith pup, so that, and then wings are slightly wider, so, you know, that's what it is. Okay, so it's knocking about inside. So as we go, joke inside, let's do it. So tack your wings edges first, like so. You set your gun is at 180 degrees. Okay, somebody else asked that. You know, I keep telling people this on making videos, but they don't listen to it. So it's at 180 degrees, okay. But you just keep it nice and straight if you can. There we have it, in a nutshell. So, my little pet Incy, he's got a lightsaber now, because he was watching Star Wars last night. And he was watching Star Trek, and then he ended up getting a lightsaber, and then he started fighting with my lovely wife. And they were having a little lightsaber fight. And I was like, oh my god, what am I going to do with these things? Oh my bloody kids. And then when Star Trek was on, they were fighting the lasers and they were shooting the phasers at the wrong people, and I was telling them off, and then they started shooting me. And I was like, this is not good. Incy, my little Incy, he's lovely. And then I caught him stealing the rum, and I wasn't impressed with that. He was swimming in the top of the rum glass, and it was quite funny. So you see now, you got the edges. You don't know about all this, like we've explained before in previous videos. You know, you'll heat shrink that back. Okay, so you want to get the edges right they are. Okay. Don't get any creases if we can help it. So this bit being solid, so you can just play with that. Okay. Oh yeah, whilst I'm on the subject of this, somebody did actually ask a serious question, which I was quite impressed with on a comment. And I was saying, is there any difference between Oratex and Solatex? Okay, and well, that is a damn good question, because actually there is a big difference. Well, I say a big difference, I will say it, there is. So the substance of it is, with Oratex, being that that's all we've got left to use, because the Solatex has gone out of business or whatever, shut down, it's less, it's not as tough as Solatex, if that makes sense. You have to have it at 160 degrees, not 180, whereas the Solatex is 180, okay? Because it doesn't hold it as well, and it rips easier as well, so it's not as good a quality material. So if anyone from that company is listening, I'm telling the truth, right? So there's that, okay? So less temperature for that is 160, and it also marks as well a lot easier. When it burns, you know, with a gun. So if you have it too much temperature on the iron, it will actually make a brown burn stain mark, so you must watch your temperature. Whereas with Solatex, 180, even I've had it up to 200 degrees max on the gun, and it doesn't, so it's definitely not the same. Right, so I hope that helps the chap that asked me, because that is a fact. That's what I've found anyway, so other people might be different as usual, but that's me. Right, so you got all your edges of the wing tacked, okay? You got them tacked. Now watch this, all this. So now we just, you know, if you want to save this to Solatex, carry on. So you know the width of this, so you've looked at that obviously. So we go along. Now here we go, right, so you get there, cut it to an angle at the corner there. like that, okay? This is why I've said before about putting pieces in before you cover anything. Right, now nice and wide. Right, it doesn't matter, no one's going to see that. Okay, and then again here. So nice window. Like I said before, it's a must to have sharp scissors, believe me. Normally I would move it around. So, okay, there we go. And repeat the process this side. So aren't they clear? How's things, alright?
Good, thank you.
Very good. How's your bum for love bites? Okay.
I haven't got any.
What, you haven't got a bum?
I haven't got any bites.
Somebody actually, they're going to be shocked, all my regular viewers, because they're going to say it's actually somebody else speaking on the video. So you see, look, you've got a lot of excess which will come in handy for future things like ailerons or whatever. So you obviously keep that. You know, everything's handy. Don't worry, it'll come in handy. Let's get it anyway. Okay. So here again, we'll do it the right way. Turn it upside down. Okay. You've obviously, I've done the bottom, and again, like I said before, do not do any, don't, you know, put the heat gun on until you're ready. Cut the corner there. Cutting corners like I do at work. I don't really cut corners at work. I do a lot of things I shouldn't do, but I don't cut corners. I go up one-way streets when I'm supposed to be going, but you know what, who cares? See now, you cut the angles there, you just cut the angles. Must and a must. And then you got here again, you can run it down. It depends where you want to go. If you want to be professional, just get it onto that line. That's fine, but this is being sprayed the top part. That doesn't really matter. Okay, better to have more adhesion, if that makes sense, on the bottom of the front leading edge. So about there I do. It sounds like a zip. It's not a lightsaber. It's nuts. Sounds like a lightsaber. There you go, Claire, do something, put it in the bin, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyways.
I thought you were giving me a present then.
Present. Push the pizza. Yes. Okay. So again, repeat the process this side. You try and get it nice and neat. See, the sharper the scissors, obviously, it's what we need. Unfortunately, my scissors ain't as sharp as they should be. But, okay, nip the edges, corner edges. That's a must. I don't matter about that. Just cut it off. Okay. Now here, you see here now where the hinges are. Alright. And then just chop the hinges like I did on the ailerons. It's exactly the same process. Okay. Right, okay. Done that. On that side, right, there. Got a hinge off there, look at that. I shouldn't have it there. Cut that angle there. All done. Right, we'll come to that in the middle when we have to. Right, okay, so we got that there, right? So just heat sink it round. Nice and see, right, so. See, that looks lovely now, look at that. Perfect. Yeah, take your time in this bit. You don't want to get any creases. So you just do that. See? So just all the way down. Here's one I made earlier. Yeah. Yeah, so Oratex is definitely a different kettle of fish. It's not as forgiving by a long chalk, and also the temperature. So bear that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, because it's an important thing to remember. Okay, because. And thanks, Mark. He knows what I'm on about. Mark Stevens. Made yet another mistake. Excellent. I love making mistakes. It proves that I'm not human. I built my rudder and I covered the rudder, didn't I, to fin the rudder, and I put the stripe in the wrong place, and it went for Mark telling me, so I had to redo the whole bloody thing, And I might add, taking Solatex off any plane isn't easy by a long chalk. It's very tough stuff. But that's what you expect. So that problem's rectified now. Oh, I'll show you because it's on with me. So you see, I put the red stripe there instead of there, and nobody told me but Mark. So at least Mark proves that he was watching the video. Okay. All right. Okay. We don't need that now. Right. We're getting there. We're getting there. He says we're getting there. Push the speed, Mr. Malone. Right. Sorry, camera lady. Right. See that? See it's there. We're getting there. Right. We've got to make sure they're on. Make sure these are sealed because when you go to tighten up the wing, you don't want it coming apart. And this is getting painted anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, trim these off with a sharp blade. Gently does it. Don't cut the bloody hinges off, like I did. Okay. There you go. Same with that one. It's all technical, eh? Let's see that down a bit. That's fine, fine. Then you just repeat the process this side really. But I need to go through the whole video because I was just driving my camera lady mad, bless her. Claire's alright, you see, she's used to it. She's not, haven't done it before, has she? So. Hey, camera lady. Never get a word out of her. No matter what you try, it won't work. Come on, Claire, tickle her.
No, I'll probably get a phone.
And then you can get your tooth out. Claire's got a bad tooth, bless her, right? And she keeps hinting to get it knocked out. And I'm like, don't go to the dentist. Or go to A&E, they'll do it. There you go. So they're all cleared out now, right? Right. There we go. Right, obviously this bit again. So we've got to line that, just make it nice. Right, now, we're nearly there, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we're nearly there. My camera lady's going through. Don't spoil the video, you get too obviously. Right. So again, you can't go over it enough times, you know, because obviously you want to get it right. Okay, now, the middle bit. Hence what I said before. Now this is important, right? I put a piece in obviously prior to that, okay? Before I did any of the covering top or bottom. And I've done one side, right? And I don't even get, the camera's actually quite good here. You'll see these little cut things here, right? Well now what you got to do to get rid of them, you cut in between them. So that's, for instance, 1, see what I mean? 2. And when it folds, you won't see the cuts at all. And that's a little trick to like remember. It's quite important. Okay, and don't cut right to the edge. Cut at least about 1 millimetre away from the edge of this rim bit here. Okay, because that way. Right, now we need to take the camera instead of I'm not right, am I? Stop laughing, you. I'm supposed to be a professional director. Right, box. Not much cut, eh, camera lady, eh? What are we going to do with her? Yeah, Claire, you know these people online, it's their birthday, so they want to donate to cancer charities or whatever they use, yeah? I suggested the other day that people should donate X amount of money to get her to speak on the camera, you know. It was an in-joke between me and my jelly because, like, you know, these people say I'll donate thousands of pounds to cancer, but, you know, so it was just an in-joke. But nobody listens to what I say on these videos anyway. They don't. They only think I'm they called me eccentric, and I goes, that's just a posh word for nuts. And that, and it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? Right, so you got that. Now, obviously, this is the bottom of the wing, and you don't want them showing. So just messing about now, this is quite serious. Right, so you've got to try and trim this as best you can. Gently, take your time. You don't want to cut the material on the bottom of the wing. We're almost there, you know. Right. How rude.
Not supposed to swear.
I didn't swear.
Oh.
I said, oh, sorry. There goes my contract then. You did warn me, I know.
You gave me strict instructions.
I know you did. You YouTube people all the bloody same. I don't use YouTube, I only do it for Facebook. Ah, there you go. I'm definitely not getting no work now. Competition. Okay. I wouldn't know how to do it on YouTube if I tried. And always people say, why don't you have a YouTube channel? Yeah, whatever. Right now. There you have it. Right, you see? Not so bad, eh? So we're getting there. Right. Other thing to check. Where your pins for your, all they are. Try and get them in with the iron first. Because you don't want them separating when you put the heat gun on. No, they're not so right. The same there, see? All the pegs. Make sure you got them in. Let's tighten them up. Now we're going to do the famous heat gun bit. We're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost there. Now then, watch this. Right, because they're concave, this wing's got concave, it ain't a good idea to use a heat gun. So you need to use the iron on the bottom of the wing. Make sure it's tidy there, so it's a bit messy. So you get the ribs, the capping strips, you know the ribs. Go down like that, and that's what you do. That's why they said it in previous videos to sand on the build, sand these points down because they will stick through the covering. Okay, that's a must. See how it's all coming together now? Come together right now over me. Stars on 45, they make you and I. Oh, just a little bit queasy. Headlights are down. Right, that's nice and tight. We'll get to that in a minute. I was going to leave that out. My jelly's patient as a mouse. Look at that. Turn it round. Like I said before, try not to get any creases because you don't want to see it. You've got to get it on there. It's pulling away now. Don't swear, I know. Just go over it lightly if you think it's going to crease, because it will take it. That's the beauty of Celotex, man, it's fantastic. See, there you go, that's the bottom part of the wing done. Right, now we need to do the top. Look at that. Right, the top part, as I said, everything's in two halves. Okay, so just we'll use the heat gun for the top part so I can show you both. Once, like I said before, don't go too close to the edges, okay, because it'll pull them away. But with a heat gun, get that all the pieces. Don't dry your hair with this, Claire, for God's sake. See how it gets the fleeces out, lovely, isn't it? How's that? Tight as a drum. Right. Right, so, guys, there must be glue on here somewhere. So now we've got the middle bit. Okay, is this nice and tight now? This is obviously where that bit I told you about, they're going to have a piece of wood to use. 4 points of the compass again, 1, 2, 3, okay? And trim this a little bit because it's obviously going to sit on the back. And like I said, there's bits of wood going in here. They will sit inside there and they're going to be wood stained. So it doesn't really matter as long as you've got enough cover in there. You have to look at the picture as Mark Stevens would say, look at that picture. He's so right and all, bless him. Right, and you repeat the same the other side. So we'll just quickly seal this down. And obviously you've put a piece of covering inside there like I've done with everywhere else. So you don't see any splits in the corners. Yeah, I know what. And it's same on the bottom wing when you're putting your servo plates in. It's exactly the same process there. With some horses. We're almost there, Daddy. Almost there, honeybee. Come on, go honeybee. She's the best camera lady in the world. Same on the bottom again. But obviously make sure you don't cut anything else by yourself. Right, it makes me just a little bit queasy. Too much rum and coke, maybe. I'm disappearing there line. I'm pajamas in the daytime. I will say something else. When you do it, get covering, prepare yourself to get used to getting burnt. You know, with the iron, because sometimes, no matter how careful you are, you just forget that it's there. And my God, you'll remember when you can burn yourself, I tell you. And there you have it. There you go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. Right. So you see, there you have it. And then, like you see with the creases, starting out little creases there now. I'll do that later. I might add as well with Solatex. Look at me. With Solatex, right? When it actually goes off and it dries. People have asked me about, do I use balsa lock? Well, no, because the actual glue on the Solatex material is good enough to adhere to the balsa wood. I've never had a problem with it in the past. But I dare say other people will say it's better to use it if you want to use it. I just personally think you don't need to. And most of the modern materials that are used for covering these days, the adhesive on the back and the covering is relatively good enough to do the job. Okay, depending on the model, I would say I'd use balsa lock if you've had a previous cover model that you've stripped the covering off of. Then perhaps, because there's not a lot you can sand it all, so where you can't get the sand into it, then use the balsa lock, you know. But even then, I've covered many a model I've had strip in the past, and it seems to work. The other thing is, like I explained on the fuselage in the previous video, if you overlap the covering, it will stick to itself, so that way you don't have to worry about balsa lock. Same with a lot of another aspect of covering quickly before else is if you get fuel soaked planes, a lot of them, like especially if it's an old crappy trainer, say like begins with W and ends with a number after 3. If you've got one of them, it's fuel soaked or whatever, you know, there is a way of getting around by covering it, using the covering over itself, overlapping it, so that way it will hold itself on if you want to get a few more months out of it flying. But I'll come to that in a bit. I've actually done a video showing you how to do that, okay, somewhere in the archives. Other than that, with Solatex, well, you might as well call it Oratex now, because this has gone, like, sadly. You know, that's all I can think of about when people ask that question. I don't have any other comments that anyone asked about the covering side of it. Told you the degrees, 180. I get used to it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next stage now, turn that off, will be once it's sprayed. The next stage is the spraying. Once it's all sprayed up, then we make the decals. Because the decals for this plane is 1974 decals, yeah, which I'm giving to my mate. I found a person who wants to build it, Ian McIntosh, bless him. He wants to have a go at building it, so he can have these, because I personally going to make my own. So at least I've got these as a guide, and I'll show you how I do these. Okay, and I make mine out of Solatex, okay, or whatever the colour, you know, and we'll put them on. But these are the decals that came with the kit. Look how old they are, they've gone yellow. Almost the colour of the plane. So, okay, so I'll come to that another day now. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's that. So everything's ready to go. Next stage is to make the struts, which I've already started somewhere in here, somewhere. My camera lady's going nuts now. Come on, she says, get the fuck on. Yeah, I know. Okay, so that's the next stage. Spraying it up, making the struts. The final finishing touches now, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long time, but it's really worth it in the end. Anyway, take care. Have a good week. Bye. Jelly.
Those magnificent men, those magnificent men, those magnificent men.